It's so great to be here with you. Let's start on our backs. Maybe something underneath your head, a pillow, a towel, a little block, and have your strap nearby. If you have a block and then something else to put under your head, that will be helpful for something we're doing in a few moments. But let's just go ahead and stretch our legs long if that feels comfortable for you, or you can keep your knees bent, flip your palms up, just subtly adjust the tilt of your pelvis to neutral, front ribs relaxing down, and tune into your breath here. Become very present with your body. Become very present with your breath. And then wherever your strap may be, grab your strap, wrap it around the ball of your right foot, right below your toes. Pull back on the ball of the foot. If your knee tends to roll in towards the side of or towards the center of your body, roll it open just enough that the lines on the back of the knee point straight back. And then trying to straighten the leg as much as possible, nice and slowly go down a little bit and up a little bit. And it might depend on the length of your strap as to how far you go, and that's perfectly fine. Keeping your ankle in line with your outer right hip, really trying to straighten the legs. Your leg is relaxed as possible. It's really your arms doing the work here. Notice if your ankle tends to twist to one side, and center your ankle. And really feel all the different ranges of motion as you go up and down across your thigh, into your hip. All right, and then from there, we're gonna take the leg out to the right and pull it back up over your hip. And drop out to the right nice and slowly without the left side of the body coming up at all. If you find that the left side of the body comes up, try to relax your right leg even more. And breathing here and just going for your own pace. We're not looking for a set amount of reps. If it feels good to stay at one particular angle, stay. Keep checking on that rotation of the thigh bone. If your thigh tends to internally rotate, turn it out to the side just a little bit. All right, next time your leg is in the air, take it across the body and back up over your hip. Smooth inhales and exhales. Keep lengthening through the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the back of the thigh. And sometimes when I think my leg is all the way straight, I'm like, oh, I can relax and straighten it a little bit more. All right, put that right leg down, walk both of your legs over to the left, either ankles together, or you can cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Reach your arms overhead to the floor or to a block, especially to a block if your ribs tend to lift up. So arms overhead, walk those arms over to the left a little bit. How about turning your palms to face each other, whether they're on the floor or the block? And be very present with your body and your breath here. Relaxing any excessive clenching around your shoulders and necks, around your hips and thighs. All right, walk your arms and legs back to center. You can leave that block overhead if you have one there. Grab your strap, wrap it around the ball of your left foot. Paying attention to several things. Does your ankle like to twist all the time? Does your knee like to slightly roll in or out all the time? Try to keep it so the lines on the back of the knee are pointing straight away as you go down and up. Neutral pelvis, so as you lift higher, try to keep your back of your right thigh bone down. Breathing here, keep lengthening through the leg. The more mobile you are, the more chances that your ankle is going to twist or your thigh is going to roll in. So keep checking on those things in particular if you're pretty flexible with this motion. All right, you can stop at any height and we'll start to take the leg out and pull it back up. And then next time your leg goes up, let's go across the body and back up. You can play with subtleties, slightly changing the rotation of your thigh bone, slightly changing the position of your ankle. It doesn't always have to be neutral, but you do want to notice what your habitual pattern is and where you go all the time. All right, release that strap, walk your legs over to the right a few steps, maybe ankles together, maybe left ankle crosses over the right. Reach your arms overhead, palms face each other, walk your arms a little bit over to the right. And then being present with your body and your breath. This is a wonderful one to do first thing in the morning. Anything that can relax a tiny bit more, soften, release without losing the shape that you're in. And then you're also just like looking for things going on in your body. Like when I'm here, I can feel specific ribs where I feel more tension between my ribs. So it's just like, oh, I could focus on that area more often when I'm doing side bends or when I'm doing a twist. So it's all pieces of a puzzle that you're putting together very patiently, very persistently. All right, walk your arms and legs back, bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet together, your knees open. This is where we are going to use a block, but you're going to start with your feet farther away or closer to you. Whichever one, you're going to stay about the same distance from your pelvis, and then you're going to reach your arms into the air, and you're going to extend your wrists so the palms of the hands face the ceiling. Keep that extension as you open your arms to the sides and bring your thumbs back together. Reach out wide through your arm. Chin stays gently tucked into your chest. Gently press the soles of the feet together, but relax any clenching around your hips and thighs. All right, next time your arms come up, grab that block. And if you don't have a block, you can just slightly separate your feet wider and wider as we go. You can put that block between your feet at the thinnest width between your feet. Soles of the feet press to the block, knees drop open. And now you're going to do the same thing, except for you're going to flex your wrists. So palms face away from you, turn your wrists down, and keep your wrists flexed as you open and close out to your side. Reach out through your upper back and chest muscles. Ribs stay relaxed down and back. All right, and then let's switch that block to the second widest width, or just pull your feet a little bit farther away from each other, knees dropping open. This time, palm of the hand up, extend your wrists, pull back on all four fingers, shoulder under your elbow, elbow under your wrist. Keep tuning in and relaxing your thighs any amount. Switch hands, wrist extended, pull back on your fingers, fingers point back towards the top of your head, because we're going to switch that when we do our next leg position. Keep releasing excessive tension over and over and over again. All right, let's switch the block to the widest width between your feet, or just pull your feet a little bit wider apart from each other. Ooh, relax, release, let go. Now you're going to do the same thing, wrist extension, but you're going to turn your hand so your fingers point towards your feet and pull down on your fingers there. And then switch. Palm of the hand faces the ceiling, fingers point towards your toes, and pull down there. And then as you stretch out your upper body, also tune in to your legs. Relaxing the buttocks muscles, breathing. All right, release those fingers, lift your knees up. You can slide that block out of the way. Maybe wrap a strap around the back of your left thigh. Cross your right ankle over, flex your ankle, lift your thighs in towards you, but keep your tailbone going towards the floor, opposite direction, and then just roll a little bit from right to left. Just going side to side, about the width of your buttocks. Not trying to flop all the way to one side or all the way to the other. Front ribs relax down and in. Maybe flex your ankle a little bit more. Pause at any angle that you'd like to and take a couple breaths. And let's switch sides. So maybe wrap the strap around the back of your right thigh, left ankle crosses over, flexed ankle, and lift those thighs in and rotate side to side. You can pause at any angle and take a couple breaths. Front ribs relax down and in. Maybe flex your ankle a little bit more. All right, lower your foot, uncross. From there, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance. You can keep something under your head or take it out. And let's do some bridge lifts here, pressing equally through the soles of the feet and then lowering the hips down. Relax any excessive clenching. And I've noticed since I've been doing a lot more variations like this, that my clenching when I do bridge poses has greatly reduced. So that might not be the case for you, but maybe you could try it if you tend to clench a lot, especially more on one side than the other. All right, next time you lift, slide that block under your hips. You can do the lowest height, which is the one we've been doing a lot under the sacrum, or depending on how you're feeling this morning, you can flip it to the second highest height, put it right on that bony shelf towards the top of your buttocks, and then extend your right leg straight. If you do the higher height right away, it might not feel okay, so then just go back down to the lower height. From here, let's point all 5 toes, and flex, and point, and flex, point, and flex, and point. Feel it, pause, breathe, and flex. Feel it, pause, breathe, actively flex. Twist your ankle a little right to left. Can you twist your ankle without your thigh bone rolling side to side, without your knee rolling side to side? And see if you can feel how when you reach through your outer edge of your foot, it goes up the outer leg, inner edge of the foot, up the inner leg. And then pause and spread all your toes nice and wide. Breathing, spreading, breathing and spreading. Good, and bend one knee and extend the opposite leg long. And we'll start with a point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, and point and hold and feel and flex and actively flex. Ribs drop down in the front, breathing here, keeping your thigh steady, a little twist of your ankle side to side. Take your time. Feel how when you move one joint, you might be able to feel all the different areas change going up your leg. You can always pause anywhere, spread your toes out as wide as they'll spread. And then bend that knee, push into your feet to lift your hips up, slide the block out, maybe put something back underneath your head, and then scoot your hips a big hop over to the left and do a 2-knee roll over to the right. So go ahead and let your ribs lift up, roll all the way over, stacking your knees. You can let your ribs roll back a little bit in the other direction. So you are welcome to stay just like this, or if it feels good for your body, extend your legs out in front of you any amount. bend your knees, push down through your right elbow to unwind. Hips come back to center. Big hop over to the right. 2-knee roll to the left. Take a breath here. And either stay right here or extend your legs any amount. All right, bend your knees, push down through your left elbow, unwind, scoot your hips a big hop to the left. Now extend your right leg long and just roll over with your left knee bent. Full spinal roll so your ribs go with you. Bringing your foot, maybe even your knee, to the floor. And then you can stay here, or you can extend your top leg straight ahead. Feel like your hip is lengthening away from you a little bit. You can even gently push your hands into your thigh. All right, bend that knee and unwind. Scoot your hips to center. Big hop to the right. Extend your left leg. Roll over with your right knee bent. Maybe foot goes to the floor. Maybe knee comes to the floor. Maybe you stack a block underneath your shin. And then you can stay right there, or you can extend your top leg. All right, bend your knee, push down through your left elbow to unwind. Come back to center, walk your feet as wide as your mat, and just let your knees roll from right to left. All right, let's come up, rock yourself up or roll to one side, come over onto your knees. You will want a wall nearby for one thing, and then you could use a chair or a wall for the other things we're gonna do later. Flip your palms up, shoulder distance apart. Tuck your toes under as much as they'll tuck under. Start with your hips right over your knees and just go back towards your heels any amount, and then back over your hips. If you tend to thrust your ribs come up a little bit without losing that natural curve of your spine. This is one of those ones where when we don't do it for a couple weeks and we come back to it, my body says, oh, I missed this one. All right, next time you go back, check ankles, rolling in or out. Try to center. Curl your hands into a fist and curl your fist up and down. Try to keep your forearms down. Fists curl up and 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 down. Stand up on your knees. Step your right foot forward. Outer edges of feet closer to straight. Ankles closer to hip distance. From here, elbow pits wrap forward. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Feel the twist of your neck muscles. Turn and look over your left shoulder. Feel the twist of your neck muscles. Bring your head back to center. Drop your chin down to the center of your chest. Good opportunity to check. Are your hips twisted one way or the other? Try to square your hips. 2 bones across the top of your hips. My hips were actually pretty twisted right there. All right, bring your head up and switch legs. Step your right foot back, step your left foot forward, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance, elbow pits turn forward, drop your right ear over to your right shoulder, steady with your feet. Drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder, soften the side of the face, relax your jaw. Bring your head up, drop your chin down center. Good opportunity to see if your hips were twisted a little bit, square them. And bring your head up and push down to step up. Grab whatever you're going to use for a calf stretch, a rolled up towel, a thin block, half dome. Put the ball of your right foot up. You can step your left foot forward or back any amount. We'll do 3 rotations. Palms face behind you as you pull back and sweep your arms forward and up. Now there's 2 things I want you to pay attention to. Is one, that you're not lifting your ribs up, but also sometimes people will keep their ribs down and just bend their spine back to get their arms higher. Try to keep your ribs relaxed down and don't bend your spine back. So let's do that again. Pull back and forward and up. And pull back and forward and up. Pull back and forward and up. Next time you're by your side, turn your thumbs to lead the way. Pull back and forward and up. Ribs down and back. Pull back and forward and up. And pull straight back, forward and up. One more like that. All right, when your arms are in the air, maybe you choose to step your out foot forward, squaring your hips, and then hands come down. Turn your palms to face forward, pulling back, and arms rise up. Breathing here. All right, let's switch feet. Ball of the left foot up, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart as you step that foot to any position, and we'll start with palms facing behind us. Try not to lift the ribs or lean your upper body back. Really helpful sometimes to look in a mirror when you're standing and just see if you lean your upper body back. It's very slight, but it's very common. Goes along with hip thrusting as well. All right, with your hands by your sides, thumbs point forward. Pull back and rise up. All right, and then if you want to, you can step your outside foot forward or back a little bit more. Turn your palms to face forward. Square your hips and pull back and rise up. And then relax your arms down and step off of there. You can move that out of the side. So rib breathing, where we focus on breathing into the back and the sides of our rib cage. Push down through your right outer hip, tuck those left toes behind you. If you want to, you can kind of reach that leg farther back and then come all the way up to stand. Same thing here, check the squaring of your hips, and let's take a few rib breaths here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then let's switch feet. Step that foot forward. You can push down through your left hip, tuck your right foot a little bit back, or you can kind of bend your knee and tuck it farther back and then straighten up through that leg. Same thing with your rib breathing. Oh, square your hips too. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Good, and then release that top of the foot. All right, from the top of the mat, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance, sit back into your chair pose, straighten your legs, half forward fold, slide down a little bit, sit back into your chair pose, sliding your shins back, hands come down to the mat or the floor, right foot forward, left leg steps back, lower that knee down, come up, inhale, arms rise, palms face forward, spread your fingers wide, curl your fingers up, and then spread your fingers wide, curl your fingers up. Hands come back down, elbow pits wrap forward, lift and extend the back leg, and tap it down. Lift and extend the back leg, and tap it down. Arms rise up, squeeze the palms, open through the fingers, squeeze and open. Hands come down, elbow pits wrap forward, lift and extend that back leg, and tap down. Lift and extend that back leg, and tap down. And then last time, lift and extend, bring your hands inside your right foot, walk halfway around to the left, parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels, push down through the backs of your legs to come up with your hands out to your side, palms face forward, sit back into a wide squat, and then it's like we're waving our hands. We're tilting our wrists down, tilting our wrist up. Wrist tilt down and up. Wrist tilt down and up. Wrist tilt down. Hold. Squat down. Press up. Squat back. Press up. Good. Squat back. Press up through the whole sole of the foot. Wrist tilt down. Squat back. And bring your hands to the mat. Walk back around to your right foot at the top of the mat. Spin your back foot flat. Each foot is at its own lane as you come up for a warrior one pose. Then from here, we're gonna bring our arms by our sides. We're gonna do those same 3 rotations. Palms face behind you, back leg presses long, bicep curl and press down. Bicep curl and press down. Curl up, press down, curl up, press down. See if you can get a little more length through that back leg. If not, maybe don't bend your front knee so much. Turn your thumbs to point forward. Curl in, press down. Curl in, press down. Curl in, press down. Curl in, press down, palms face forward, curl in and press down, curl in, push down, curl in, press down, one more, curl in, press down. Spin onto the ball of your back foot, step it up about halfway. Now you're in a pyramid stance with your feet hip distance. You're a little bit wider than hip distance. Reach your arms into the air. Curl your hands into a fist, turn your palms to face each other, and squeeze those fists. Squeeze them, squeeze, 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 squeeze your fists. Relax your shoulders, but squeeze your fist. And then let your right arm come down, open your left fingers, and tip over, side bend to the right. Breathing here. Bring your arms open to your sides, 2 straight legs. Keep your hips facing forward. Twist your upper body from your waist up towards your right leg. Feel the turn of the waist. Good. Unwind from there. Rotate your pelvis over your thigh bones. Notice if your hips tend to turn one way or the other. Feel across the front of your hips for your bones being equal as you fold forward any amount. Try to straighten the legs all the way. Good, and then then push off your back foot to step up, and now walk over to a wall. We're gonna put our right hand on a wall in line with your chest, so a little bit lower than your shoulder, thumb spreads out, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance, and then you're gonna turn your chest away from the wall, and we're just gonna hold a little bit longer here today. Breathing. Unwind, turn around. Thumb spreads out, hand a little bit lower than your shoulder, in line with your mid-chest, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance, hips over the heels. Are you thrusting your ribs? Relax them down. When your head goes forward, ramp it back and turn open from here. Notice your outside arm, is it tensing up? And unwind. Okay, you can use the wall, you can use your chair. If you have a rolled up towel, that will work. If you have two thin blocks, that will work. If you have one block, just put your feet farther away. You can step up, you can use the back of the chair, or if your spine stays in neutral, you can use the seat of the chair. Hips back over the heels, so the body's gonna wanna keep pitching forward and you're backing up. As you push down to lift your heels up off the ground, really press equally through the balls of the feet, and then slowly lower your heels back down. And press up. As you press up, backing your hips up, and slowly lower your heels down. All right, and then come up to stand from there, back to the top of your mat, feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance, and sit back into your chair pose, slide your shins back, fold down over your legs, straighten your legs into about a half forward fold, sit back into a chair pose, hands come down, stepping your right leg way back into a lunge, softly lower your knee down, stand up in your low lunge, reach your arms up, fingers spread wide, and curl in. Fingers spread wide and curl in. Hands come down to the mat or blocks, wrap your elbow pits forward, lift and lengthen that leg, and tap it down. Lift and lengthen that leg, and tap it down. Come back up here, fingers spread wide, curl them in. Fingers spread wide, curl them in. Hands come back down, elbow pits wrap forward, press equally through the palms as you stretch nice and long, and tap down. Reach back, stretch nice and long, tap down, stretch nice and long, hand or blocks come inside your left foot, walk halfway around to the right, and parallel your feet. From here, back your weight up into your heels, push down through the backs of the legs to come up, hands out to your sides, sit back into your wide squat, and wave. Wrists go up, wrists go down. Breathing here. whatever you did last time, wrist up or wrist down, do the opposite. I think we did wrist down. Oh goodness, yeah, we did wrist down. Wrist up, squat back, and press up. Squat back, and press up. Squat back, and press up, and squat back, and bring your hands down and walk around to your left foot. Set your feet up so your feet are each in their own lane. Spin your back foot flat and come on up, warrior one. From there, arms come down, palms face behind you, curl in and extend. Breathing, keep extending long through that back leg. Keep letting your breath flow. Thumbs lead the way as you curl in and extend. Pressing down actively, not only curling in, but pressing down. Create your own resistance. Palms face forward. Breathing. All right, spin onto your back toes, step your back foot in, maybe a little less than halfway. Square outer edges of feet straight, square your hips, reach your arms into the air and squeeze your hands into a fist. Keep stretching your legs straight, keep squeezing, keep breathing. Good, then from there, let your left hand come down as your right arm goes up and over into a side bend. Open your arms to the side, palms up. Twist your upper body toward your left leg. Keep extending long through your legs. Unwind your twist. Try to feel that your hip bones or that stick out the top front of your pelvis are even as you tilt forward into a forward fold. Two very straight legs. And breathing here. And come on up and step that back foot forward. Okay, so lean your buttocks against a wall, or you can sit down in a chair and extend your legs really, really straight. Your body doesn't have to be back against the wall. It can be tilting forward. This is a great way to practice lifting and lowering your kneecaps, like letting your buttocks be against the wall so you can completely relax and straighten your legs. Once you get it pretty good here, lifting and lowering, then you can start kind of walking your feet back a little bit and see if it happens there until eventually you're standing with hips over heels and you can lift and lower your kneecaps with ease. And then you practice rotating your thigh bones into neutral so the lines on the back of the knees point straight back with feet straight with ankles hip distance, and you can lift and lower your kneecaps while you're rotating your thigh bones into neutral, so that you know you're using your deep hip rotators instead of just your quads to turn your thighs into neutral. And your thigh bones in neutral, if your thighs do tend to roll in, is going to be really helpful for strength and stability over time. So first, you just want to get your knees lifting and practice this with two legs on the ground. Like when I stop and I'm at the grocery store and I'm waiting in line, I'll be practicing thigh bone rotation to neutral if I find that I'm rotating in. But you can also start to practice it on one leg. You don't have to. You can just start with feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, and hips over heels. But come to a chair, and same thing. You can use the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, depending on how much your spine can stay with your neutral curves. From here, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance. Make sure that left foot doesn't pop in as you reach your right leg into the air. First, just hips over heels, but then you can play with maybe neutral rotation and lifting your kneecap up and down here. Breathing here and working on whatever you need to work on most. Smooth inhales and exhales. And lower the foot down outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You can even work on wrapping your elbow pits forward, ribs up if they tend to thrust. Push down, lift your opposite leg, back your weight up into your heels. Maybe work on neutral rotation on one leg, lifting the kneecap up and down. Now, you always want to check that your foot is straight first. That's how you know if you're if you need to rotate your thigh bone into neutral or not. Some people's legs are already there, but internal rotation is very common. Back your hips up over your heels. Stretch long through that back leg. Keep on breathing. And then lower your foot down. All right, let's do that one more time each side. So, outer edges of feet straight, ankles closer to hip distance. Lift the leg, back your weight up into your heels. Rotate that thigh bone into neutral, reach long. Breathing here. Maybe you work on your hands being a little bit lighter on the chair. And let's switch sides. Feet closer to straight, ankles closer to hip distance. Push down, lift the leg, back the weight up into the heel. So if you tend to, your one hip rolls down and you hug your standing leg hip in, that will equal your hips, or more common if your hip rolls up. Same thing, if you pull your hip down and in. So you're trying to square your hips to the floor, but all these little movements, foot straight, ankles hip distance, rotating the thigh bone, reaching back long, will all help with that muscle balance. Breathing here. Definitely a little more work for me on this side. My hip wants to keep going forward. All right, lower your foot down. All right, from there, how about just squatting back? You can hold onto the chair and lengthen your arms, breathing here. And then walk your hands down and walk your knees down to the mat. Grab one of your blocks. You're gonna come down onto your forearms and your knees. You're gonna extend the block out to your side. You can do any height. You can do the lowest height, your medium height, your highest height. I'm just gonna do medium height today. And then you're gonna just put your hand on the block in line with your chest, and that's all. And turn your chest towards the floor. Feet steady, head ramping away from the floor, and breathing here. And if you wanted to up the challenge, if you have two blocks, you could do this from all fours with your hands on both blocks by your sides. But I just think it's just wonderful as is with the one arm out to the side. All right, let's switch. Right elbow under your right forearm, left arm reaches out, hand in line with the chest, palm of the hand to the block. You really don't have to do anything, but just be there. Back of the head maybe ramps towards the ceiling. Oh, that just feels so good for the shoulders. Or if it doesn't feel good, then do other things first. But have a seat back. If it's okay for you to sit like this with your knees and feet hip distance apart, do. If it's not, you could stick a block under your hips to get your hips a little higher. If it's still not, just put a block under your hips and maybe sit with your feet in front of you. Anyway, but sitting here, and then from here, let's pull our skin on our breastbone down and lift our chin up into the air. And maybe push your bottom lip or your bottom jaw forward. Breathing here. Gotta tilt my pelvis up right here. How about taking your chin up and over to the left? and holding there and gently pulling down on the skin. Over time, as your shoulders relax, lift your chin up a little higher. And bring your head back to center and lift your chin up and over to the right, pulling down on the skin on your chest. Bring your chin down. Have a seat on your block if you're not already. And then from here, you can do the soles of your feet together, knees open, or you can spread your legs out into a V. With your pelvis upright, your ribs relaxed down. Let's do some head ramping. You know, where you let your head go forward a little and slide your ears straight back over your shoulders. I'll show you from a side view. So ribs relax down, so there's none of this happening. And then your head, maybe, you're not trying to force your head forward, it just drops forward a little. And keeping your chin down, you slide your head back as much as you can over your shoulders. So do that a few times. Ramping the head. The tendency is either people will lift the chest up or they'll tilt the head back and lift the chin up. So try not to do either one of those. I feel like we also haven't done these for a couple weeks. And it's another one where my body's like, oh, I like this. Okay, we're gonna do some head ramping from different positions. So sit up tall in your pelvis, turn and look over your right shoulder, and do some head ramping there. Bring your head back to center, turn and look over your left shoulder, and do some gentle head ramping there. Bring your head back to center, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, and do some head ramping there. Bring your head up, do your left ear over to your left shoulder, and some head ramping there. And bring your head up and drop your chin down to your chest, and then maybe follow with your pelvis, rotating forward. And then come up and come onto your back. So block would be great here. I'm not sure exactly what else you could use for without a block, but you could just actually roll up a towel thick under your head. But we're gonna do the block at the second highest height and then put it behind our head, and you have to kind of get the right spot. Try not to let the block tip because you don't want your head to fall. You want it flat, but you want it somewhere towards the top back of your head so your chin can drop all the way down to your chest and you get this length behind your neck with your front ribs dropping down, palms up. Try to center your spine with the block. And you might notice one side's tighter than the other. Just breathe. Imagine that area with gravity, like pulling down towards the floor or relaxing down towards the floor. Relax your forehead, your jaw, the front of your throat, the sides of your neck. And then keep your chin dropping down and turn your head just the tiniest little bit to the right. And then bring your head back to center and turn your head the tiniest little bit to the left. Chin dropping down, ribs relaxing down, breathing. And then if it feels good to you, you can roll a little side to side, or you can stick with one side. I've got to adjust my block a little bit because I feel my head slipping. It's really that right spot, because if you get it too much under your head, your chin you don't get as much stretch. But if it's too far back, then your head will fall back. So I'm going to hold on to my block like this. You can try that too if you'd like. And then bring your head back to center, flip the block to the lower height, bend your right knee in towards your chest, and how about drawing a circle with that knee in the air? Go maybe a couple times in one direction and go the other direction. And then extend that leg long, bring your left knee in and draw a circle. Couple times in one direction, pause a couple times in the other direction. And then you can just extend that leg long, or if before Savasana you want to draw both knees in and do a double circle, feel free to do that as well. And then extend your legs long for your final pose, Savasana. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body and with your breath. Stay tuned in to your body and to your breath. You are expansive. The observable universe, what we can see through our telescopes and satellites, has a radius spanning approximately 46 billion light years. That means on Earth, we are only experiencing a tiny fraction of an enormous, expansive universe. But while our eyes may be limited, our hearts and minds are not. Take inspiration from the universe as you remind yourself often, I am expansive. Spend some time dreaming of how you can expand yourself beyond any learned, self-imposed limits. Believe that you can become happier in any area of your life that you would like to be. Let your awareness return to your breath. Feel your body. Do your fingers want to interlace? Do your knees want to drop out to the side? Do you want to do a twist for 2 seconds to each side? Any kind of wiggle or rock or reach or rotation. And then roll over to your side. Take a full inhale. Exhale all the way. And press yourself up to a seated position. Bringing our hands together at heart center in gratitude for this day. Namaste.